Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Tuesday, and well, the market seems to be doing some interesting things. I have a kind of an interesting kind of an alert here that just came out. I was scanning through some stocks and interesting Novacure NVCR. And I just kind of want to bring this to everyone's attention out there. Has had a gap up. It's just absolutely amazing. And I just want to show it to you out there. And basically, what's happened is that introduced they have a cancer treatment of some kind. This is, interestingly enough, it doesn't have to do with the vaccine, but it's just a tremendous move up, as you can see. It just absolutely, and it didn't start the day this way. It just took off for another planet. And that basically was NVCR. And as you can see, this is the 10-minute chart here. Very interesting. I don't know if it's going to hold this 200-day level, but boy, there's a lot of buying going on this. And I'm trying to figure out kind of what's going on here. But you might want to put this down, maybe on your notes. It's called Novacure. That's the name of the company. Novocure. And they developed these things for brain cancer, and it looks as if they got approved for something. So it just gapped up and went through the moon. I mean, it was still, it's trading above the 200-day line, but boy, it just rocket shipped up above the 50-day line. So this is very interesting. I had an alert on it, as you can see there, and it just popped right through that, and it just went nuts. Now the earnings are basically in 15 days. Not necessarily recommending this stock, but I want you to take a look at it because I just think it's absolutely amazing. And look over here at the weekly chart. It looks as if it's retaken its trend. So it's just kind of amazing. It was trading below the buy point, and it just lifted off for another planet. So I wanted to show you that one. That was kind of very interesting to me. Well, and so let's kind of go through the indexes because that's kind of a good thing to look at. The first one, of course, we want to look at is the Qs. This is we want to look at the Nasdaq Composite first, and of course this is the largest. This is one of the larger indexes. This basically covers the tech stocks and most of the growth stocks. Most of the stocks I really like are in the Nasdaq, and it has been struggling as of late. But it seems as if we're seeing it move again very nicely here. And I just wanted to show you that it's an up day again for that. We had a little bit of a pullback yesterday, but it's trading very nicely. The low volume, though, that is a bit of a concern. I'd like to see a higher volume, but we're looking like we're well above the 50-day moving average, which is excellent. We have the 10-day now moving above the 50-day. That is the correct alignment. The 10-day is on top. The 21-day exponential is next. The 50-day and then the 200-day. When it has this coming back to this alignment, that means that it looks as if this is a very bullish sign. So hopefully we're coming back into some of the growth stocks. I think mainly this has to do with some of the big cap techs, the Googles, the Apples, those kind of stocks. They are setting up very nicely. They've been pulling back since really the beginning of the year. Now also, one of the things I also want to show you is how Tesla is doing. Tesla, TSLA, is moved above the 50-day moving average. As you can see, this is very bullish. It's currently trading at 759. So really, my key level on this was about 720, and it's just powered beyond that today. So I'm going to wait to see how this closes, but I may be coming back into Tesla tomorrow based on this chart. It's looking pretty darn good. Just want to show you the 10-minute chart on it. As you can see, it's just climbed from this about 710 level where it opened to about 760 down. So that's a 50-point move basically in a day on Tesla. So hopefully Tesla is coming back. It's waking up. And, maybe I'll be back to being a bull on Tesla. That would be excellent because I really like the stock and everything about it. So kind of a cool thing. Just also wanted to cover some other areas. I want to show you the QQQ. I went in relatively heavy on the QQQ today just because I wasn't fully invested in my portfolio. And so what we did was we decided that we were going to park some of our cash, at least until we could find a better location, in the QQQ Trust. And one of the great things about the Qs, and it's up, by the way, it's 340, it moved past this very key buy point, 33819, and of course my buy stop limit order was at 33819 plus 10 cents at 338.29. So it's looking pretty darn good in the Q. So this is kind of maybe we're at the beginning of a melt up. That would be wonderful. It does look like there's a little bit of weakness in the last few minutes, but the trend on the Qs has been up too. So this is where all of the very good growth stocks live. They kind of live in the NASDAQ 100, top 100 stocks of the NASDAQ, and this is covered by an ETF called the QQQ, and so it's definitely worth looking at. Also, I also want to look at another index. Whenever the Qs are running, you might also want to look at another symbol, TQQQ, and what this is a leverage. This basically does not hold stock, it holds options, and it's a 3-to-1 leverage, and it's looking like it's ready. It's not ready to buy yet, but this could be a buy tomorrow, and that is the TQQQ, and it looks as if it trades above 111.86 plus 10 cents, or 111.96. Then you might want to consider possibly looking to buy this one possibly. Now this is for a very short-term trade. This is a lot more volatile, so it's a little bit of more risk here. So I just kind of want to point that out as well, because when the Qs are trading well, the TQQQ typically will trade higher than it. So it can be a very good thing. Anyways, okay. So now let's get to everyone's questions. That's what people really want. And let's look at the first question. This is coming from YouTube. Why does Vinny website not work for Discord? You know what? That's interesting. I'm going to have to find out about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send this to our tech support here. I'm going to send this frame to our tech support, but it should work. I'm gonna try to reach out to you, Bloom's Repairs. I'm gonna have to work. I think what the Discord portion of it, that is a premium service, but you should be able to see some of my trades on there as well. So I kind of want to reach out to you possibly afterwards. If you could, I would like to reach out to you. So by the way, if you could just send a quick email, that would be really great, to www Dallas Trading Floor. If you could just go to www Dallas Trading Floor and just enter a question, and it will send us an email. So thank you very, very much for that. All right, let's get back to the questions. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at Tesla. Yeah, Tesla has been just, it's waking up. It's waking up, and I'm very excited about that, of course, as you can tell. But it has been waking up. So let's look, before I go back to Tesla, why don't I go ahead and take some questions from the TikTok audience. Hey, Jim, this is what Valerie's saying. Oh, let's see if I can get her back up, because she was saying, hey, Jim, can you take a look at NNDM? NNDM. So let's look at NNDM. NNDM. And that is Nano Dimensions, and it's an Israeli developer of 3D inks. Now, because you're on TikTok, you can't see this, but I'm going to show this to my audience on YouTube. This still has a very strong relative strength at 98, but it is not reversed. Okay, as you can see, I've drawn a trend line here, and basically this is still in a downward trend. So currently, this is not. You can't really buy this currently. It's not in a position, but it definitely should be on the watch list. So this is the current trend in the daily chart. Let's look at the weekly. we still have this downward trend, so it's still adjusting. We don't want to be buying this right now, but it definitely should put this on the watch list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm kind of go down some of the things to see if we're going to get ready for this one. It still has a little bit of worry on this because it's only a 55% checklist. I like to see it a little bit higher. I don't think there's options on this one. No, there are actually. Wowee. So I just want to look at the options activity here to see. It looks like the 750 call is there's a lot of open interest on it. So it seems like somebody thinks that that 750 is a key level. Currently, it's trading, and I got to move my camera here again. There we go, so I can see it. It's trading at 758. So somebody seems to like the 750 call action on this one. So I think this will be turning soon, but just the question is when. So I think you just, with this chart, I think this does not have a terrifically good entry point right now. So I think we've got to be, oh, good, thank you. Thank you for going on the entry form. So I take care of that problem on the Vinny for the Discord. Thank you very, very much for that. I do appreciate it. And it definitely came through. So thank you very, very much for that. On Nano Dimensions, NNDM, I just think you got to stay away from it right now. And, Victor, I guess it's Victor Elon, 9512. I just think you have to stay away from it a little bit more for right now. Let's take another question from TikTok. And again, if you're on TikTok right now and you want to see these charts, it's super easy. All you have to do is just go to my profile, click on the link, and you should be able, or go to youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and it's being broadcast live with the charts. Let's look at NEO. That was a question from TikTok. And NEO, it's still in this downward trend. Ouch. Yeah, unfortunately, again, we just can't buy it. I've drawn these trend lines here. I've gotten a lot of questions on them, but we still haven't broken above the trend line. So here's the thing. It's still not reversed. Reversals are hard to buy, I'll be honest with you, but I just won't buy them until they've reversed. And unfortunately, right now, I think you got to be careful on NEO. If you're down more than 7%, consider closing your position, waiting for the rebound, because we're going to see probably a rebound, I suspect, at the 200-day line. And currently, the 200-day line for NEO, let me just find out exactly where that was. Currently, the 200-day line for NEO is at 34.71. So it's currently at 38. So here's the thing with NEO. It's probably going to pull back to about 34. That's my guess. Hopefully it'll find support there, and if it finds support, it probably will head higher. But right now, I think you got to be very careful with this stock. It is pulling back, and it's made highs, and it's no longer going as well as it did. So if you're looking for an alternative, possibly, you might want to look at Ford. And I'm in Ford actually. It's down today. It's touching the 50-day line, but hopefully we'll see a reversal on this, and the trend is up on Ford. And unfortunately on NEO, it's not. It's down. So we got to be careful on that one. But if you want to possibly get into a stock, I do believe that we're going to see a reversal on Ford, and it will go higher. But it's currently trading above the 50-day line, so that is a good thing. So I'm going to draw a trend here. This is the kind of thing we want to possibly look at potentially buying Ford if it moves above this trend line, and I've put this trend line in here. So we will see how it trades. I am currently in this stock in my small portfolio, but I don't have a lot of shares of it. But if you're looking for an EV stock, it's going to trade in sympathy with Tesla, and it might do quite well. All right, I just joined. What's your prediction for Coinbase? Good question. Here's the thing with Coinbase, and by the way, that's going to trade under the symbol COIN. It's not yet out. It's what they call a direct listing. It's what they call a direct listing. Here's the thing. I'm not going to trade it as an IPO. I'm going to wait about 30 days, because typically what will happen is when an IPO comes out, it will trade up initially, move up initially, and then it will pull back and then form a cup. And then from that, then it possibly can be traded. So just kind of give you an idea of this form. on the charts. Let me show you a company that did this. It's called Snowflake, SNOW. It's called Snowflake, and it has it initially. What'll happen when IPO comes out is it will trade up very, very, very high, and then it will pull back. This is kind of what I expect to happen with Coinbase. Right now I'm showing a chart of Snowflake, which was a recent IPO that was very anticipated, kind of like Coinbase. And here's how it traded. It moved up very, very quickly and then immediately pulled back. So this is part of the reason why I am not going to be initially a buyer in Coin, COIN, but I'm going to definitely watch list it because I do think it could be very powerful. So, I definitely think it can be very, very powerful, but I think we've got to kind of wait a little bit on this one. And, I think we just have to wait a little bit. So let me see if I can pull this. I have a little bit of trouble. There we go. So I was just changing my lighting there a little bit. Hopefully that worked. Hopefully I didn't crash. Didn't crash it. Okay. All right. So let's look at I have a next question. Oh, you've got a lot of questions there. I'm sorry. I want to get to everybody. We talked a little bit about Tesla. Okay. So here we go. Thanks for giving the 715 buy point on Tesla. It printed today. Yeah, right on. Okay, baby. You're making some money. I think that was kind of my minimum because I kind of felt that Tesla would be. Let me just kind of take that picture there. I'm trying to kind of do my own PR work here. So thank you very much for that. All right. Okay. So let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla probably will pull back. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It probably will pull back. But look at this. It's just a super nice motion on this stock. And of course, it pulled above that 50-day line, and then look at this power. And by the way, this chart down here, this is the volume chart. This is an exponential chart. So if it moves above that red line, wow, that's a lot of volume. So somebody's coming in big and buying. That's what's happening. Just kind of want to see what the count is on this. Yeah. So if there any news today that was special. No, I don't know, but it just some of the big boys came in and bought, and that's really what's happening. So thank you for that kind comment. I very, very appreciate it very much. Okay, let's look at WST. Is it a buy? Well, okay, WST. And that's West Pharmaceutical. Wow, that's actually a very good chart. This is a very good chart, by the way, everybody. The only issue that I have here is a relative strength of 51, but remember, we've come through a pullback in the market, so we're not seeing necessarily as good relative strength numbers as we did before. But I do like this. Here's why I like this. And you always look for this on the weekly chart here. This is a pullback and a bounce off the 200-day moving average. That's typically very bullish. Very bullish. Now, right now, it has an excellent checklist, 88%. The only thing that's missing with West Pharmaceutical right now is the relative strength. It's low, but it's just come through earnings, and look at those sales. They're nice. It's up 23%. I'm liking that. The profit, though, and this is what's so key, the sales are up 23%, but the profit's up 63%. So that's excellent. We also have increasing number of funds that are in it. That's very good. If you'll notice, 60% of the people that own this stock are not individuals or management. They're funds. So this is very bullish. Look at this cash flow. It's strong, $6.34 per share. So that's a very, very strong return on equity of 21%. That is excellent. Now, normally with growth stocks, of course, you don't necessarily look at the return because a lot of them don't have returns; they have negative earnings. But that's not the case here. This is a strong company in a strong sector, and the question is, where do you want to buy it? Well, here's the thing: we're coming into a very nice potential opportunity. wouldn't buy this right now. I know this is kind of kind of tough. But Robert, here's what I would do on this one. Here's how I would play this one. I want to see this move above its buy point. And so here's how I would play this particular stock. You can buy this one. This is definitely buyable. But here's how I think that you need to do it. You want to set a buy stop limit order. And the way that works is if it moves up to the 312.12 point plus 10 cents, and I'm going to put in there 10 cents, 0.10, or a buy point of, see, 312.24. There we go, 312.24. So basically, here's how I would play West Pharmaceutical. It's definitely buyable, by the way. It's definitely a buyable stock right now. But I don't want to buy it right at this minute. I want to set a buy stop limit order for $312 plus 10 cents, or 312.24. So what I want to see happen, I want to see it's moving strongly. It has a nice consolidation here. But the thing is, I want to see it more. I want to see more strength on this one. I want to see it move past this 312.12 plus 10 cents, and that's where I want to buy it. So set that buy stop limit order for 312.12 plus 10 cents, or 312.24. So I think you'd be very happy. It looks like a very nice stock, and I think that you might be doing very well on this one. It's looking very nice, so very, very nice. And I do think it is a buy, Robert. But again, you want to buy something, and this is really the hardest thing to learn. I tell you, man, this took me a long time to learn this. But what I learned is that stocks, you want to buy a stock as it's going up. I mean, that sounds so logical, but it's not, because most people will say, "Oh, buy in the dips." Well, try not to buy in the dips, because sometimes if a stock is dipping, it'll dip lower and it'll dip into your bank account, and then you don't want that. So you want it to go higher. So the way you can do this and not look at the screen all day is by setting this buy stop limit order. So what you do is wherever you're buying your stocks, you set in there, you set, it's a buy order, and then you usually on another drop down it'll say stop limit, and then the stop that you put in is the 312.12. Okay, so that's where this buy order is activated. But then you put the limit order in at 312.24. So if the stock moves above 312.12, it will activate a buy limit order at 312.24, and it will buy it at this price. The reason you want to do that is because if a stock is moving through a base like this is, if it moves, that you want to buy it as it just moves above resistance. That's where you want to buy it. So that is a very good stock, and I think that on a buy stop limit order, you could do very well on that. Very, very well on that. So it's got a lot of potential there, and I think it's a good stock. So yeah, there you go. All right, so let's look at some other ones. Thanks, Anon, appreciate it. Let's look at Disney Plug, Blink. Let's look at Blink first. I really like Blink. I don't know. I know you shouldn't fall in love with stocks never, but for some reason I just like Blink because I think this EV thing, of course, is not going away. Now it's down today, so we can't buy it. Really, we never want to buy as it's moving lower. Just never want to do it. But let's look at the weekly chart to kind of get a 25,000 foot view. It looks as if we're right at 40, and this is a sort of a key level. But I don't want to buy this today because it's trying to make this reversal. I've drawn this line here, this reversal line. It's still above that, but it's having trouble. So if you haven't already come into the stock, I think you got to wait a little bit on this one until we see more of a movement. Currently, it's 99 relative strength. That means it's in the top 1% of all stocks in terms of its strength this year. So that's looking good. But I just want to see another. I just want to make sure that this reversal is for real. So here's the thing: watch list. Watch list it right now. That's going to give you probably your best bet on Blink. Let's look at Plug Play. That's PLUG. That's the symbol for plug play. And let's go into that one. All right. Plug. Oh, goodness gracious. This is the problem. This is why you don't want to buy in a downward trend. As you can see, we have a downward trend here. And you don't want to buy in those because they have a tendency to go lower. Now, one thing that you got to watch for is that this black line here on the chart, if you can see it, and by the way, I'm for everybody on TikTok, I'm actually simulcasting this on YouTube at youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor, and you'll see the chart. It's touched the 200-day line. Now, I want to see a reversal on this. So here's how you find out. Here's how you do that. What I do is I draw a temporary line, and I try basically trying to touch at least 2 points. 3 would be better. And I'm drawing that. That's the reversal line. And so what I'm trying to do here with that reversal line is hopefully it will allow me. It isn't quite allowing me to do it, but let's try to draw another reversal line. And then what I want to do with this line is that I want to set an alert on it. Yeah, okay, hopefully it'll let me. Okay, no, it's not. It's not letting me do it at the price. Anyways, it'll let you do an alert on price or on line. I like to do this one line, but it needs to come. It needs to start trading above this line. So I want to see it reverse before I'm interested in buying it. It's not a bad stock. I mean, it's got a 97 relative strength, which is very, very good. The checklist is not as good as some of the other stocks in the area, but it's still 55%. So that's good. Let's look at the option action on it. It seems like there's a lot of open orders here for options at the 29 level, and these are calls. So what's it trading at now? It's trading at 29. So the question is, there are people who are willing to buy calls at 29. So it's above 29 right now. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't be willing to do that. So right now, I think you just got to wait for reversals. So excuse me. Let's take a look at Disney, because that is a Dow component. By the way, there's only 30 stocks in the Dow index. It's been trading lower as of late, so it's not. It's been trading lower. Late. I want to go to the weekly chart. Basically, the best thing to do is to always start with the weekly chart to see what the trend is. Now, we can't really see anything. It looks like it might be in a buy zone, but I want to check that. No, yeah, it is. It's in a buy zone, but it's trending lower. Theoretically, you could buy it at this level. Excuse me, but I don't think it's going to be your best bet. I wait until this thing turns up, but it's right at a buy point. The buy point on Disney, 183.40. Right now, it's at 185.77. So it's right at a buy point, but I wouldn't buy it at this level because it's trending lower, and you don't want to buy a stock because it's trending lower. So I'm looking at the chart here, the 10-minute chart. It looks as if we're going to probably see, it looks like we may have a short-term reversal on Disney. I think tomorrow you probably see this move above its, continue above the 50-day line. It looks as if that's going to happen, but it's so hard to figure this out. So I do like the stock. I wouldn't buy it right now. It has a downward trend on the on the relative strength line. That's this blue line here that I'm showing you. It has, and that is something that is not a bullet. That's a bearish sign. So I think you just got to watch this right now, Ahmad. I think you're just for Disney. And let's see if I can take another question here. Apps. This is Digital Turbine. This was great a few months ago. I don't know what happened to it, but it's still, it looks like it's holding up on this chart. And basically what's happened instead, it looks like it tested, I'm just looking here, okay, it tested there. So it's staying above the 50-day line, so that's very good. It's got a 99 relative strength, and it's got strong buying, and it's up nicely today. So the question is there an entry point for this thing? Wow, weak as alloy. This is one that just looks, now that the NAS, okay, there is a buy point on a consolidation base at 102. It's at 88 right now. Boy, do you want to buy it early or not? This is setting up very nicely as well. This is setting up very, very nicely. here's the thing. Boy, I'm going to put this down on my list because I may be a buyer of this one. But right now, I won't. Right now I want to see how it trades tomorrow. APPS. Okay. This is kind of looking. This is a good chart. The only thing it's in a group that's not being favored right now. 168 out of 197. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the complete computer software enterprise group, and I'm going to bring that up on the screen. Just kind of let's take a look to see kind of how that is indeed trading. Let's see if it'll give it. No, it won't let me do it. Okay, but that group is not trading as well as it was. But this stock, it's sort of out of favor. The group is sort of out of favor, but I really do like this stock. Apps, it's a very good stock. Let's see if I can get another question from TikTok. I'm looking at the TikTok here. Where do you see your screen? Well, here's what you have to do to see the charts that I'm actually putting up there. You have to go to YouTube because unfortunately I cannot broadcast this on TikTok. I wish they would have this feature because it would be a great feature. But what you can do is go to www.youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my background for the next time so that you can see all the charts and you can jump over there. So I'm going to do that. I haven't done that yet, but hopefully for the next time I'm going to do that. But that's where you can see it actually as I'm broadcasting it. All right, so let's look at the next question. Thank you. IZEA. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it for the question. IZEA. Oops, EA. And that is, as he operates a marketplace that connects brands from China. So I guess it's kind of like, I don't know the stock. It's kind of one of those Chinese stocks. You have to be careful on these Chinese stocks because they have very little fund sponsorship. I want to look at this one. What kind of fund sponsorship? It does actually have some funds in it, which is sort of amazing. There's 9 funds in it. I typically like to see, more than 5. So it definitely qualifies there. And it definitely has increases in sales. Last time it reported, it had a 10% sales increase, but it had a profit. It's still losing money. It's a very cheap stock. After hours, it's $4.79 on this, but it does have this very strong relative strength at 99. So, you can't totally count it out. Now, here's the problem. I probably wouldn't buy this stock. I'll be absolutely honest with you until it shows more strength, because it has a very key thing. The current price is less than $10. I typically do not like stocks where they're less than $10, and the reason I don't is because below $10, it's almost impossible for a fund to invest in them. And what really moves the stock up, it's not necessarily good sales or anything like that. What it is it's the funds, it's the mutual funds, it's the hedge funds, it's the funds that are investing in that stock. And that's not the case here. So I'm a little bit leery about this. So here's the thing, what I would say on this one, even though it has interesting, actually a very, very good chart, by the way, I would pass on this one. It looks like it's spiked up. And what causes these spikes like this, as you can see here, what causes this kind of spike this is what they call a short squeeze. What will happen is they'll get it and they'll think, oh, well, I don't think they can do as well. So they borrow shares, they sell them, and then they have to cover. This is a short squeeze. This is a classic short squeeze. So here's what I would do on this one. I would avoid this one, at least for right now, Jay. I just don't think. I think there's better companies out there. I think you ought to be a little bit careful with a stock like this. So that's what I would do on this one. Okay, thoughts on Upwork. I think the symbol for Upwork is UPKW. I think that's right. Upwork, is that right? Up UPWK. Is it WK? What do I think? Is that right? Yeah, Upwork. I knew I remembered that one. Okay, this is Upwork, and let's take a look at very nice chart. It's currently at 50. It looks like it's retaking the 50-day line now. I'm sure you're hearing me talk about this 50-day line, and you're like, what is this 50-day line that Jim is talking about? Well, it's a very, very important. There's 2 lines that I really like to trade off of. One of them is this 50-day line, and the other one is this 21-day exponential. That's the green line here. Now, typically, what I like to see is as I like to see the lines line up. I want this little pink line. That's the 10-day exponential. I want that at the top, and then I want the 21-day. That's next, and then I want the 50-day. That's next, and then I want the 200-day. I want to line them up like that. When they're not like that, they're either doing one of two things. Now, right now, this stock appears to be doing a reversal. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to go to the weekly chart, and I'm going to draw a line here, and kind of give you an idea of how I believe this is trading. I do believe it's just ready to possibly move above this line, and this is a key line, and I see it intersects essentially here with the 50-day. So it's above the 50-day. So can you buy this? Well, it's actually lining up very well. It's 97 on the relative strength. I'm liking that. Also, if you notice this relative strength line, it's pointing up. I do like that as well. It is above the 50-day line. That's this red line. I'm liking that as well. So the only concern is its earnings in 21 days. Now, here's what I would do with this. If I were to buy Upwork, and it does look like it's very strong. It does look like this is very strong. If I were to buy Upwork today, what I would do is I would probably sell it on the day of earnings. And the reason is because I do believe that it's likely to pull back on earnings, even if the earnings are good. As you can see, that's what happened here. Even though their earnings were up 100%, it pulled back. And again, their earnings here were up 300%, and it pulled back. So here's how I would play Upwork. If it looks very, very good, I would hold Upwork. I would buy Upwork potentially if it held above the, if tomorrow Upwork is above, if Upwork tomorrow is above about 48.50, that's where the 50-day line is, then I would consider buying it small position, but I would only hold it for 21 days. And the reason is because after this goes through earnings, even if the earnings are very good, and I think they might be, because this is an interesting company, I think this will pull back. That's my guess, because it's done it twice before. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to probably put this on my list. By the way, if you're a member of the special Discord room from Vinny, I do these spread trades, and these tend to hopefully benefit people as companies are going through their earnings periods. Typically with this one, I'm looking for it to pull back, and I will be probably putting together a bear put spread on this one for Upwork, but it won't happen for a few days. So that is potentially also a very, very good candidate. It's a high-flying stock, pulling nicely, but it probably will pull back after earnings. So that might be a quick way to make a little bit of coin there. All right, let's look at the next question. Thank you very much for that question. Very, very good. Very, very good question. All right, and this is the question from Levi. Thank you. This is the question on coin, and of course this is going to be Coinbase, and they're offering. This is an interesting way to go public. Typically, they go through an IPO offering, and you have a broker like a Goldman Sachs or that will basically offer it into the market. They'll basically be the market maker. Well, that's not going to be the case for Coinbase. Basically, it's going to be a direct listing, and so there's good side and there's a bad side to that. The good side to that is probably it will go up tomorrow, but the bad side of it is if it pulls back, there's really nobody to come back and step in and make the market, and that could fall too. So I would be a little bit careful. I'm not going to buy this one as it comes out. I'm going to wait about 30 days to see how it trades. But I think it is exciting. I think it's an exciting area, and Coinbase is definitely a leader in this. So it's looking very, very good as well. All right, thank you. Okay, and let's look at Unity. Drunk Squidward, that's the best name. And that's Unity. And of course, that is an interesting software company. They make what they do is, it's funny because in the building that I'm in, there was a game developer here, and they used the Unity software to build their game. And it's the framework that's used for building video games. So it's a great area. unfortunately, I wish I could be more positive about the chart. The chart does not look strong. It's got a relative strength of 29, and it is in a downward motion. So it's just really not something that we can buy right now. It has only been out for a very short period of time, as you can see, basically about, not even 200 days. This is one of the reasons why I typically like to wait a little bit on a piece of an issue to see how it trades. It IPO'd at 52 right here, and then it moved up basically, but it didn't quite crack the 180 barrier. Since then, unfortunately, it has been down. So it's probably going to do a round trip. I suspect, we'll see, but I suspect it's going to round trip probably down to about 60 before it finds a floor. What this process is this is a process that almost all stocks go through. It's called a basing movement. And what it is that a stock will find its true value, and that's going to probably be in a base pattern. And that's why I like to buy off of these base patterns, because I knew that that's where the floor is, and then if it can move through that, that's typically a good place to buy. But right now with Unity, I think you've got to be careful. I would be a little bit concerned on Unity. I would not buy this with this chart. This is not a good chart. It's a downward trending chart. So I wouldn't buy Unity right now. And if I was in this and I was down more than about 7%, I would probably sell it, because you just kind of want to wait for a better opportunity. Right now, this is trending lower. So even though it's a good stock, and I like the area that it's in, I think you got to be super careful with this one. And with Unity, if you're not in it already, I wouldn't get in it. I don't think it's probably not gonna be as good. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, thank you. Oh, okay. Hey, man, thanks. And by the way, I do have a kind of a I don't know. It's sort of, I don't know if it's I'm being facetious, but kind of a stock Copilot program. That's the little Discord room, and that's available at Veni.com if you're interested. I mean, obviously I also have, I also have a free action trade alert, so you can do that too. So it's got to I'm trying to do all the trim levels. So, but anyways, this is more one-on-one type stuff that we have with the Discord room, and basically what I try to do is be available to people, when they're trying to make entries and exits from positions. To kind of give my 2 cents. And sometimes it's worthwhile, sometimes not. But I also do spread trades in there that I show how to work, and that's at www.veni.com. So that's kind of a cool place to go if you want. And of course it's. But I also have the action trade alerts as well. So that works too. And I try to put out very good actionable information on that as well. Okay. Thanks, Kate. Thanks for coming back. I didn't scare you away. Let's look at ARK. ARKX. And of course, Kathy Woods has just been terrific. She's the fund manager over at ARK Invest, and just, really a superstar when it comes to picking stocks. I wish, I wish I had her acumen. I'm a chart follower. She's more of a trailblazer than I am. So I follow the momentum. She's great in terms of that. This is the space ETF, and there's really not a whole lot to buy in the space ETF. Really, all you can buy in the space ETF is really Boeing, and maybe you can buy space, which of course is Virgin Galactic, and maybe the new Elon Musk's new his company SpaceX. It's not public yet, but it probably will be in this. This is so new. You really can't do anything with it yet. I wouldn't buy it, even though Kathy Woods has got a tremendous track record. I mean, literally, it's been out for 2 weeks, so it just doesn't have enough trading history. It's trading. Its relative strength is 25. Let's look at the daily chart. Let's kind of see how it traded. Yeah. Okay. This is a very typical. By the way, this is very typical in terms of the way stocks come out. It came out right here at this level. So let's see kind of where it came out. It IPO'd out of the gate at basically about $20. Okay, as you can see, this is one of the reasons why I'm not going to be a buyer of Coinbase. This is a really good example of why, at least initially. it IPO'd at $20, okay, and then boom, it just went up and just like a moonshot, and then at about 60 cents into that, it started here at $20, then it moved up very quickly. I mean, this is a nice little gain, and then it pulled back. Of course, it went up and then it pulled back, and then it's been trying to find its level, and the level is really between $20.80 and $21. So really, this is going to be a tough one to trade. I think in the future this might be a great one, but in terms of trading it, I'm probably not going to be a trader in this one because there's not a lot of earnings. The only stocks that are going to have earnings that are in this fund, and this is an ETF, is going to be the already normal defense stocks like Boeing, BA, because with space, SBC, and that's Virgin Galactic, they don't have any earnings, so that the components are not going to be the same. So let's take a look just quickly for fun at space. This is Virgin Galactic, and I've done very well in this stock, but my strategy on this one is a little bit different. I trade this one, I don't hold it. Basically, what I do is I buy it right before earnings, and we may be getting to a time when that's happening. I wouldn't buy this now because it's in a downward trend. But basically what I like to do is whenever this is have an upward trend into earnings, I buy it about 3 weeks, and then on the day of earnings, I sell it. So that's how I do it. So right now, the ARKX, ARKX, probably is not your best one. It may be later in the future. It may be later in the future, but it's just so many companies that don't have earnings, so I would be probably not a buyer of that right now. But I think it has potential down the road, so it's a watch list. It really isn't a buy. Okay, thoughts on FLGT? Thanks, Roman, for putting that in. FLGT. All right. And that's Flexible Genetics. Now, genetic stocks are hard to trade, in my opinion, because they tend to be very binary. They're either just heading for the moon, or nobody wants to talk to them. It's a funny thing. It's Temple City, California. Interesting, in Southern California. Okay, so this is genetic testing. Now, this is a good field. Wow, look at that earnings per share up 999%. Wow-wee. So this is a relatively small stock, but it does have a lot of. This is interesting. It has a lot of fund support. Wow, I'm learning something here. Look at that cash flow. Excellent. Return on equity. Super. Wow, what am I missing here? What am I missing? All right. It's pulling back on terms of the chart. So purely on a chart basis, it may be reversing. So let's see if it is. Interesting. Okay, it pulled up. It looks like it's pulled above the 10-day line. You know what? I think this might be buyable, but it's not buyable now. What we're going to do here is I'm going to draw this trend line. Oops. Hopefully I'm going to draw this. If I can get these controls to work. Hold on. Yeah, they're a temporary pin. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top here. And then I'm going to try to come down here, and I'm going to try to go to the closest tops. And I'm going to say, you know what? I think you could put this one on the top, but it would be tough. Okay. So I want to see if there's a reversal, but I want to see it reverse above where the 21-day line is. So I want to kind of, this is not the greatest way to do this, but I kind of want to look at this line. This is the line I think if it can move above this, then I think we possibly have a reversal. But here's what I would do on this one. This looks very good. I wouldn't buy it unless it moves above the 50-day line. That's about 113. So we've got a long way to go on this stock. So here's the thing: you can only really watch this one right now, and it's just not in a place that it can be bought. So I think you just have to watch this one right now. I want to see it move above about 113. I want to see it move above about 113 on that before I would buy it. But it's excellent stock, and definitely you want to put this one on your watch list because I do think it has some very nice characteristics, and I'm seeing some very nice stuff here. All right, let's look at Riot Blockchain. I was actually looking at options on Riot Blockchain earlier today, and Riot Blockchain, of course, is going to trade very much with Bitcoin. So the way I typically trade, and I have a exposure to Bitcoin right now, but I have it through the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. But this is another way that you can participate in Bitcoin without owning Bitcoin. And it looks as if, and I have a trend line on this one, I'm showing it to you. Thanks, Caitlin. Catalin, thank you very much for looking in. This is, I want to see this move above about 60, and we're very close. We're at 59. So the question is, can it hold on? This is very, very volatile, but I do think this may be going higher. And you know, Riot Blockchain is an interesting stock. It's a really interesting stock. It's a little bit below its all-time high, but I'm not as concerned about that. The relative strength, I'd like to see that higher too, but it's not necessarily a bad thing there. This is a much more speculative stock, I'll be honest with you on this one. Very, very speculative. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reactivate my trend line for Riot Blockchain. It was tripped today, but if this maintains its strength, this might be a buy. So I'm going to put Riot on my watch list. I don't want to buy it today. Obviously, we can't because it's after hours. I mean, I could buy it after hours, but I try not to buy it in the after hours. But this one might be setting up for a good, some good potential motion. I may try to buy this at the small portfolio tomorrow if it moves above that 60 price by coming through the by setting a buy stop limit order at 60. I would actually set it at 60 plus 10 cents or 60.10. So that's where I would set my buy stop limit order. I want to see if it moves. I want to see if it moves above that. But it's interesting, and I do like this. So for short term on Riot Blockchain, I do think it is trending up. But the question is, can it move above 60? That's the key level for Riot Blockchain. This is about 60 on that. So hopefully it can get to that level. Get to that level. Let's look at JMAI, and this is an interesting company too. This is if it's the one I'm thinking it is. This is a German company that basically provides e-commerce in Africa. JAMI. All right. Did we get that? No. Did I get it right? No. JMAI. JMAI is the symbol. Well, come on. There we go. Well, no. JMAI. Tab. No, it does not want to. It does not want to let me. For some reason, I can't bring this up. JMAI. Well, let's see. JMAI. JMAI. And let's see if, nope, it doesn't recognize that symbol. I'm sorry, Rick. Unfortunately, I can't pull that one up. All right. Anyone here listen to Bob Brinker? Back in the day. I did at one time. I did. I loved him. You know, I tell you, that you're dating me here. Oh, I definitely listened to Bob Brinker. He was great. It was great in the day. Let's look at Gilead Sciences. All right, what is the symbol for Gilead? Let me see if I can get the symbol for Gilead Sciences. GILAD Sciences. I can't remember the symbol right offhand. So let's see if I can. Oh goodness. Gilead Sciences. GLID. Well, that was easy. Should have remembered that one. GLID. Let's get this for Eric. GLID. Gilead Sciences. Gilead. Well, it's GILD. Sorry. GILD. There we go. There we go. It's up. All right. Thanks for this question, Eric. Appreciate it. We still have a downward trend, and it is in a consolidation. The problem is it's trading below the 200-day line. I think you got to avoid this one for right now. I want to see a reversal on this. It has not reversed. Let's look at the weekly chart to see if there's any kind of entry point. I just don't think there is. We're trending below this 200-day line. This is not an area that I like to buy just because it is not looking strong. Now, we may have a reversal on this one. That's why I say right now, because that's the operative term, right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can figure out, you possibly could do a reversal right there above of that. So I'm going to set an alert on that line. And what that does is that's a potential bounce off of the 200-day line. Now, that said, I don't even know if I want to be in at that because it's got a relative strength of 10. It's just, I think that this should be stronger. It's got a 69 checklist, which isn't bad. But here's the problem that I have with Gilead right now. Its industry rank is 144 out of 197. I just don't want to be in this part of the market, at least right now, because it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. So I would have to pass on that one, Eric. I appreciate you bringing it up, and it's a great company, but I just don't like the chart, and so I wouldn't probably be in it. Hey, how are you doing? Greetings from San Antonio. I love San Antonio, especially the Riverwalk, of course. Everyone that hasn't been to, I'm sure everyone's been to San Antonio, so whatever. But it's really great. It's fun, and always a great place to go. Thanks, Chris, and I appreciate that. Okay, want to become famous? Buy followers. Okay, well, maybe I can become famous. No, but I'm not going to become famous because of my face, because I do have a face for radio, so I'm trying hard on that one. Target price for Riot blockchain. Well, good question. I can't really say because the problem with Riot is it's much more highly speculative. I do like it, but the question is, what would my where would I go on that? And what I've done is I've drawn a reversal line there. So really, I want to see what happened here with Riot is that we had this trend, and I'm going to go to the weekly because really showing this on the daily is just, not there. We have this just absolutely amazing trend. Let's go to the monthly. And as you can see, it's just all over the place. Now, here's the thing. I do think the next stop for this is about 200, but that's just insane. I don't think it's going to go there. I don't think it's going to go there. I just want to see it move above 60. I'd be happy with that. But I do think this could absolutely explode. I don't know what the limit is on this one. I really don't. But I want to see it move above 60 before I'm possibly in it. I'm probably going to do on my smart portfolio a small buy in this one, a quarter or half position. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So you're looking, okay, so 65, okay. I could see 65 on this. Now, here's the thing. If on Riot blockchain, here's what I would do. I would probably be a seller if it went above 79. If it moves above 60, I would probably hold it from 60 to 79 or about 80. But that's really all I can give you. I can't really give you, based on these charts, I can't really give you a definitive answer. I really can't. Sorry about that. Okay, let's look at, thanks, Alexander, AOW. Let's take a look. AOW. Wow. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, that doesn't come up. So I'm gonna have to probably take another one. Catbird seat. Okay. Oh, Palantir. Question on Palantir. Great. Thanks. TL Biggie 6. I like that handle. Did you refer Palantir? Not today, but let's do it. It's not been looking good as of late. It's pulled back a lot. I was in Palantir. I was shaken out, and I do have some trend lines on it that you can see here. There we go. All right. Basically, on the weekly chart, it looks as if it's trying to make headway on a reversal above the 50-day line. The question is, has it done that? Well, I don't think so. Here's the thing. I don't think right now, unfortunately, Palantir is still in the decline. Now, one good thing about this is that we have some strong buying that's starting to come in, but I want to see it move above this 50-day line. That's where I want to see it move. So the absolute lowest price that I would buy this for would be, if it's going to have to move for me, it's going to have to move about above about 2850. It just has to. But right now, it's not moving well. So here's the thing. Here's the thing you've got to do with Riot blockchain. Really, the only thing that you can do right now with Riot blockchain, and that is you just have to watch list. You just have to watch list it, and that's kind of a I don't know. It's sometimes in this game you just have to sort of sit back and wait for the game to come to you. It's kind of like what Bobby Orr used to say about hockey. Why you're such a good hockey player? Well, I let the game come to me, and you kind of got to do that with Palantir. Right now, Palantir just doesn't. It's just not working, unfortunately. So you got to watch this one. Wow, I'm coming almost to the end of the show here, boy, and I just wanted to show you a few things. Show you, right? I just wanted to show you a few things there, and that is we do have this new Discord room, and it's basically you have to go to www.veni.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And what it does is it's sort of a more one-on-one thing. Definitely ask me questions during the trading day. Try to get back to everyone. I'm not available 24/7 on it, but I try to be much more proactive about it. And we do have some nice spread trades. I just put a nice spread trade on Square on there, which I think people really like. And then, of course, but if you don't want to do that, I totally understand. Kind of want to get your feet wet. You can definitely subscribe to just the free action trade alerts, and that's the great way to go. And I try to put out good information that'll help you trade there. And that's basically just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and sign up there. And of course, it's free if you want to cancel anytime you like, and we don't sell a list or anything like that. So that's a great way to go too on that. Well, I have come up to an hour here, and thank you everybody. By the way, if you're looking on TikTok, we do simulcast this on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. Well, I will be back tomorrow at 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern, and I hope everyone has a good rest of the trading day. Actually, the trading day is over with, but after hours. And if you want to ask, if you need to get in touch, it's easy to do. Just go to the website www.Dallas Trading Floor and just submit a question, and I try to answer as many of these as I can. So again, I will be back tomorrow at 2:30. Happy trading, and good luck to everyone, and I will see you tomorrow.